to the hypnosis class. The hypnosis series is it's very important because it's something that all of us humans, no matter who you are, no matter what you go through, we are built with the same body. We are built with nostrils and ears and eyes and a brain, a heart. We have all those things as part of us. And when we learn how to use our functions properly, we could be balanced and measured throughout our life. So we've gone through how the brain works and how every thought connects to the heart, and it forms our feelings, and how when we think of certain things or when we have certain conversations, those conversations, we don't always remember the hour-long conversation, but we remember the conclusions, and those conclusions form a certain feeling, and those feelings form a memory, and those memories stay in the heart. Okay? Many people look for their excuse. They want to find something to blame. Why am I a serial killer? Because I don't know. Because I I did this because I saw this and this when I was younger. Or why am I a thief? Because I never had food when I was younger. You know. Or everybody's looking for their little excuse that they could latch onto. And in psychological behaviors, yeah, that might be a reason, but it cannot be an excuse. Okay, let's explain the difference between reasons and excuses. That's the idea that we're going to be focusing on today. Anything that we do needs to have mind put to it. You can't have somebody going and spilling the milk on the floor and you ask them, why did you do it? And they say, it's because I was angry. Yeah, that's an excuse. If they say, I poured it on the floor because I saw this video that said that if you pour milk on the floor and you use it as floor cleaner instead of bleach, it works even better. Well, it's a dumb reason. I don't know, you were fooled by some YouTube video, but at least you have a reason. I could understand that. You're giving me a sense of like you thought that at least, so I'm fine with that. Reasons and excuses are totally different. We have to know how to differentiate those things. We have to know how to put thought behind every single action that we do. So people want to make themselves better. People go through certain things in their life, and they find themselves reacting in certain ways. There are a whole bunch of things that they're just going and doing automatically. They've been doing it for so many years, and they don't know if they have a reason for it. They don't know if they have an excuse for it. Through hypnotherapy, we go into this particular feeling. What's the feeling underneath this action? When you do this particular thing, what do you feel? What's truly going on? And that's where we break it down into a thing called PIES: physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. So, for example, we find ourselves being in road rage while driving. Yeah, we're on the road, and we're in this road rage, and it's fire. We're burning up, we're angry, we're making maneuvers that could technically, with one wrong move, it could make us a paraplegic for the rest of our life. It could kill us. But the rage is it takes over. So we have to dumb it down first. We have to dumb it down to the physical level. Before you explain anything of what you think or what you feel or what you truly desire, let's talk about the physical thing. Tell me, when did this story start? When do you think it started? Did it start when you got onto the highway, or did it start when you were still at work, or did it start a week ago when you were at home and somebody said a wrong word to you? Okay, let's start with the current story. You're in road rage, right? You're racing with someone and you're just cutting them off and shooting your windshield fluid on him from the front. You know, be what may. What's the physical story? It started out as I was on the highway, everything was good, I was in the middle lane, just whistling to myself and listening to my podcast and enjoying myself. An audiobook was playing and I was just totally in that. And out of nowhere, this car came and cut me off. At first, it didn't really bother me. But then, he did it again. And I was like, am I doing something wrong? What's going on? So I go and I cut him off. Then that guy goes and cuts me off. And then there's a whole bunch of gestures, words, and hand gestures. And that really got me moving. So I started cutting him off and doing all of those stuff. And That's the physical story. You could go and say, this is the physical story. If you want to go and tell it to somebody else, this is everything that happened. Now we go into the intellectual part. What were you thinking when you were doing this? What was going through your mind? Don't tell me any feelings. Don't tell me how you felt. You were angry, and what were you thinking? So some people will say, oh, what I was thinking was, this guy's crazy. Like, I'm trying to drive and this guy is just cutting me off. What's going on? Is his life more important? Like, is he gonna get there before, like, a minute before me? Like, really, what's his thing? And and then the first time you were like, maybe he's actually in a rush. But then after him doing it again, I realized, no, this has to be something about me. It's a personal vendetta that's going on over here. And that's the intellectual thing that goes on in our mind that we form, and whatever conclusion we reach in this intellectual back and forth in our mind, we start thinking, like, I'm just trying to enjoy myself. What does this guy want from me? Am I doing something wrong? No, I'm not doing anything wrong. This guy must be something going on. Something's going on with him. You create this thing and you reach your certain conclusion. Whatever conclusion you've reached, that's how the feeling is going to be interpreted, and that's where we get to the emotion. The emotion just turns into action. That emotion is going to start guiding us into doing the next things. And we are trying to do rational things. We're trying to go and do normal things. And sometimes our emotions just take over. And if our emotion becomes anger, we're just going to go and rage. We're just going to go and cut them off and go too close and speed and risk our health, risk our lives, and maybe just risk a ticket. But in any way, we're risking. We're putting ourselves at risk. Sometimes we could get filled with sadness, and that sadness could last for the rest of the day. We come home and our wife and children and friends, and they see us, we're all sad. What's going on? We don't even remember how it started. We just know that we felt like somebody didn't respect us when there was no reason for us not to be respected, or whatever feeling comes up. And that emotion is anchored within us throughout time. If we've ever felt this sadness before in our life, this entire topic opens up, and all the sadnesses throughout our life start rising. They start coming up, and it's not just this sadness that of this particular story that comes up. It's everything at once. It's the entire overwhelming feeling of sadness, or the entire overwhelming feeling of anger that rises to the top and really takes over. And then there's the spiritual part, which is the true desire. What do we really want in this situation? We want to be respected. We want to feel like we matter. Like don't treat me like this. Also, we really want to be happy at this point. We want to be content and peaceful and relaxed. We don't want to react based on our emotions. We don't want our emotions to just pull us away. We want to be in control of them. We want to be our true person whom a stranger can't offend, and the only ones who you let into your heart are people who you deeply care about, people who you care about, people who you want to help. Those people are the ones that you are going to accept into your heart, and if they say something hurtful, yeah, then it'll hurt. But guess what? It's not going to hurt forever. It's going to hurt as long as you allow it to hurt. Because if you truly care for them, you're going to go over and say, hey, we had a disagreement. Let's figure this out. And that's the true spiritual part, this true desire of a person. So when we look at our lives, we have reasons and excuses. Excuses usually come when we have irrational emotional behaviors. We just go and do a whole bunch of things, and we don't really have a rational explanation for all of those things. It's just, this is what happened, and this is how I had to react. I don't care if it makes sense or not. That's an excuse, and excuses are non-admissible in court. If you have a reason, though, if you have a true reason, you say, listen, I had to show this guy, I had to prove to him, I wanted him to learn that I am not a person to be messed with, because I have power, or because I have a life that's more, that I feel like is not to be played around with. And you could technically go and explain that. Yes, if you're going to break the law with your reasons, it's still not going to help. But throughout life, sometimes there's a reason to go and shut down that bully. Give him that swift punch, or that swift slap in the face, so they know this is over. This is not going to repeat itself. We don't want things to repeat themselves, because if this anger comes up again, everything is going to resurface. We don't want everything to resurface anymore. We want to be in a place where we're balanced, where we're measured. We want to stick to proper reasons, where we don't break the law, where we're weighed and measured in all of our decisions. And through hypnotherapy or self-hypnosis, when you go to yourself and just speak to yourself and say, I'm in the car, someone just cut me off, I have a couple of ways I could face this obstacle. The physical story is, this guy cut me off. The intellectual story is, he's probably in a rush, maybe his wife's giving birth, or maybe he's just an idiot. Then their emotional story, you start feeling all these emotions and you tell yourself, okay, we got to change the narrative in our mind, because the truth is, I have a desire to be home and content. I have a birthday party to go to, and I don't want to be the wreck of, I don't want to destroy the party. I don't want to be coming in like a wrecking ball. You know, I want to be normal. I want to be weighed and relaxed. So so we go to our spiritual desire. We go there and we say, okay, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to react. And maybe I just won't react at all. I'm just going to slow down, pull out the gas station, come back out in 5 minutes, and see what the road gives me then. See what new challenges come up in 5 minutes. I'm not dealing with this, because this, I know, is going to resurface a whole bunch of old stuff, and I'm not going to do it. So we learn with little tiny actions. We put ourselves into situations where we do not fall again, where we know that if we do fall, we're going to end up risking a whole bunch of stuff. We don't want to do that anymore. So just a little bit of thought. Any person, we're created equal. We all have the same opportunities. We all have the same mind. We all have the same nose and ears. So follow the instructions. Open the manual every now and then. Put yourself into situations. Think about them. Prepare yourself. What if something stressful is going to happen again? What am I going to do next time? What's the physical story? What's the intellectual thoughts that go through my mind? What's the emotion that usually gets triggered because of that? And what do I really want? And when you find out what you really want, stick to that. Start implementing it into your life, and it's going to become you. You're going to start seeing, just by me not raging on the road right now, it changed the rest of my day. And guess what? If you do that 20 times a day with 20 different places and people, you're going to end up having a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful, wonderful week, and a wonderful, wonderful life. What a beautiful life. So that's my piece for today. I wish you well. If you want to know more about hypnotherapy or hypnosis in general, self-hypnosis, you could pick up my book, Who Am I? It's on Amazon. It's wonderful. It's great. It's very deep and thoughtful. You'll really enjoy it. And I'm a hypnotherapist. You can reach me at LemmerHypno@gmail.com, and I'm looking forward to serving you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Have fun.